Hello everybody, it's Queen Jelly here, and welcome back to the Toy Box. I haven't recorded in a hot minute, so I do apologize, but we are back today with the Monster High hauntcouture runway Frankie Stine doll. I am so excited about this one. I was really on the fence about her for a while, and yes, I did say her because this is Generation 1, so she still is her in Generation 1. But you can also use they, them. It is completely okay. But anyway, yeah, I was on the fence for a while. It was actually originally going to pass on... Oh, apparently they are double box. This is fun. So if I'd known that, I would have taken them out of that top box already. But yeah, I was originally going to pass on the drop. But then when the Rochelle doll dropped, I actually just ended up ordering both of them. And then I was kind of... Yeah, so I ordered this doll a lot later than most other people did, but I got it at the same time as everybody else, so super exciting. Anyway, so we have the second box inside. It's Mattel Creations. It just seems very like generic Mattel Creations. It doesn't have contains one piece. It doesn't say anything about like what's in the box, which is interesting because the other one did. It has the like Mattel Creations like icons all over it. Alright. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the Chucky dolls, which really bums because the Chucky dolls are ones I've literally been looking forward to for months and months and months and months and months. I don't know if you guys were aware that they were going to be dropping when they did, because I was kind of like aware that they were supposed to be dropping that day, but like there was no like official like countdown clock, and I never received any emails about them or anything, and I kept checking the website and I never saw them listed. So I went into work, and at the end of my shift I checked online to be like, see, they never came out, and then I saw that they were sold out, and I was very upset. Because like, why would you do it on a Monday when you've done every other drop on a Friday? Like, I don't know what that was. But anyway, enough about what I don't have. Let's talk about what I do have, which is hauntcouture Frankie. Oh my gosh. So we have this coffin-shaped box, just like the other hauntcoutures. The only, like, original hauntcouture that I ended up with was the Laguna. I didn't end up with any of the others, which is part of why I decided to go ahead and get this Frankie, because I don't have any other of the high-end Frankies. Because I do know that their design is very similar to a lot of other, high-end Frankies that we've had in the past, but again, I don't have any of them, so to me this is completely new design. On the box there's like this stitching and stuff that's like erased, and then some safety pins, and then flush with the box is this mask icon, and then it says hauntcouture MH, and then on the back this is also flush with the box, but it's like a holographic version of the stitches and safety pins. Oh, on the side it says Midnight Runway, and then it has the mask as well. Very cool. And the side's blank, so we're just gonna slide this open, and then we have this right here on the front, so we'll look at that. I will stand them up so that way you can see, and we can kind of just reverse the box. Interesting. All right, so it says Midnight Runway. You are cordially invited to Midnight Runway, the haunted show of the year. Frankie Stine jolts the runway in a masquerade-inspired look, wearing tinted black mask with lightning bolts. Frankie Stine is stitched with style in a sheer bodysuit and her signature stitch marks. Her look is stamped with an exaggerated, structured blazer with terrifying texture and detail, ghoulish bindings, lightning bolt boots, and accessories completing her shocking look. As the clock strikes 12, Frankie Stine will have the ghouls all charged up every step down the runway. Midnight Runway Certificate of Authenticity. I kind of like that it's one piece instead of like two, so that it's not also something extra to keep track of. One thing I did find out, about this doll recently is that it has a saddle stand. Which I normally hate saddle stands. But I get them for specific reasons, like, because as you can see from the way that they have them in the box too, these ones are kind of supposed to be like looking like they're floating almost. Again, there's kind of like this like superhero ghostly like aspect to this like overall style. But if you guys have the Ghoulia, I don't know if you watched my video or you watched their video about Ghoulia, but she has the Manster clip instead of the regular waist clip because they didn't want to break the corset on the back. So I mean, that's smart that they were thinking ahead of something like that, of like, we don't want to like waist clip it and break the corset, but then just give her a saddle stand, because she doesn't really fit on this stand either, like, because this clip isn't really meant to fit around the hips. So, like, I kind of wish, as much as I don't like saddle stands, that they just done a saddle stand for Ghoulia. But anyway, I digress. Back on track with Frankie. So there's not really much going on with the box. It's pretty simple. You could see the stand over here, and then the stand in the back, and then Frankie, and we did not get a hairbrush this time, which is fine. And then we have her hair just kind of pinned back here. I don't think there's really much else to say about Frankie while she's in the box, so I'm going to go ahead and snip and get her out. As usual, while I'm doing this, I want to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out a lot here, and it also helps you out if you enjoy the content and want to see it again in the future. So please just don't forget, again, to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to go ahead and pause here so I can get her out of the box. You don't have to watch all this. Well, it looks like it's going to be pretty easy. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and, since it's like a couple of snips here and there, I'll just go ahead and finish taking her out of the box, because it makes it a lot easier for me if I don't have to crop the videos, mostly because I do this all on my phone, and when I edit the videos, I then have to save them to my phone. And even though I pay for extra storage, my phone likes to tell me that it's out of storage every time I try and save a video. So anytime I can avoid having to do that is fine, because I don't mind the editing. I just mind the fact that it's nearly impossible for me to save videos, and I literally have to like delete a bunch of stuff every time I want to save one of my edited videos onto my phone to download or to then upload it to YouTube. It's also annoying because I just use the iMovie. I have to just sit there with it open while it saves. So I can't use my phone for however long it decides to take to save. And then sometimes the save will fail at the last second. So then I have to start all over again. And when you have to start all over again, the annoying thing is, if you start it over, it still like saves part of it. So then it wants double the storage. So first it says that you're out of storage at the very end of saving your video. And then it says you need double the storage that you originally would have needed if it just saved it correctly in the first place. So it's not fun. All right. Super easy. That just clicked right together. And then Frankie can literally just slide right onto that stand. So. And there's not even that much floating. I'm not sure why they went with a saddle stand for this doll, to be honest. Because I don't see why they couldn't have put a waist clip on the back of that jacket there. All right. So, let's do our usual zoom so we can start. Now, we do have some super long hair. She's actually really warm in my hand because she just came from outside. But yeah, so she has pretty long hair. It goes to about her knees right now, as you can see. But it is also up in a high ponytail, so it go a little bit further if you were to take it down. There is one streak of green in here, which is kind of cool. One on either side, actually. But that's kind of cool. And I don't think we have... I personally haven't seen any other Frankies with the green streaks. It's kind of reminiscent of the blue streaks that we have for G3. And then we have this bolt hair piece at the top. So it is rubber banded, and then this bolt piece is kind of just clipped on there. Very cool. And then we have the, the very infamous mask. It is a gray mask with then the holes out, and then this bolt across the face. Some bolt details here on the side as well. It does not wrap around the back, interestingly enough. Instead, it is just simply rubber banded on, which is not bad, because then that means it is removable and replaceable. We can kind of slide it up so we can see her face. Now, she does actually have rooted eyelashes, which is really cool. And then, of course, Frankie, as always, come on. There we go. Has one blue eye and one green eye. We have the lightning bolt in her eyes, and then we have a stitch down the cheek, and then some very like ruby burgundy lips. Very pretty. I would say probably more burgundy, because ruby's a brighter red. And then bright green lightning bolt earrings. We have the neck bolts, as we typically do with Generation 1. It does look like they're plated, which is really nice. I love when they're plated. It makes them stand out really nice. And then they have a really pretty plated layered necklace here. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of necklaces, one of which has the lightning bolt on it. Very cute. And then they have this pleather jacket with these big, like totally 80s sleeves. Super cute. Full length pleather. And then we have these cuffs here. They are an enclosed cuff. So in order to take them off, you just pop the hands off. And there is one on either wrist, and they are connected in the back by this ribbon. So we have some that are just dangling down, and then this one that connects it across. So that could potentially affect posing, possibly, but I don't think that the doll has that much range that it would affect, if any. If anything, I think this pleather jacket just more affects her posability range than anything. But yeah, super cute. The pleather jacket does go all the way down to her hips. It has more of that flared out, like triangle-like shape. Again, I feel kind of very like 80s-esque. And then another triangle here in the back. There are some plastic safety pins on this side here that are just kind of stitched on, and they, if you can see that, are little skullettes. There we go. Very cute. So that's her jacket, and of course it is removable. Again, you just have to pop her hands off in order to get it off. And then she is wearing a sleeveless leotard. So it, I'm not sure. So we have this big chunky belt here. I believe it is all one piece, but you can kind of see that the bodysuit is a little bit darker than the leggings. So I'm curious if that is separate. I don't think it is. No, the bodysuit is sewn into. You can see that the Velcro right there, that this darker layer underneath is sewn into the full bodysuit. So it is an all or nothing deal. The bodysuit, the upper layer has stitching printed on it, kind of like what's on the outside of the box. And it is printed all the way up the body. It's really actually kind of cute, because it kind of, at least the way that it's printed on her body, kind of gives her some nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Contour. It's really like nicely shaped to her body. It's very cute. And then the mesh does go to her ankle right here. So you can see that it stops at the ankle, which is fine. We have these really cute boots. They're kind of, Monster High used to do this a lot, where they just like, they didn't do the heel. They kind of did like the Gaga boots, where it's like not really a heel, but these like aren't terrible, because they are still pretty like full. So you don't have that like huge like unsupported area of your foot. Like It's not a separate heel, but it's not like as unbalanced as it would be if you had to like not have a high heel portion, if that makes sense. But anyway, so it has on both sides has these green lightning bolts painted on, and then the heel itself is again some lightning bolts, and the bottom are just blank treads, which is perfectly fine. Sometimes though they like to hide details at the bottom, so I always like to check just to make sure. And then of course we have our saddle stand, which is just a black stand with the normal skillet, or actually it's a different base because it's a skillet base, but it is the normal one for the saddle stands is to have the skillet base, because that's what the other saddle stand I have in my collection has. So yeah, there we go. And then again, she can just kind of stand on here. She's a little bit floaty, but honestly not as bad as I was kind of expecting it to be, since like I said, they kind of were very raised in the box, and it kind of seemed like that was what they were going for, was kind of like a floaty look. Because it's kind of hard to tell, because it's almost like they're going for like a superhero type look, but we already have Frankie as a superhero, but also like, and this is like Midnight Runway, because that was the only thing that kind of like confused me, and part of like, oh, I want to skip the drop, because to me something like Midnight Runway, I would think of more of like a ball gown look, and less like a bodysuit superhero look. But you know, whatever. I still, whether or not the name is confusing, I still think this is a gorgeous doll, super beautiful. I cannot wait to display her with the rest of my dolls. Definitely one that I've been super looking forward to, and glad that I was able to get into my collection, even though I wasn't able to order her immediately upon her release. So I know she's very controversial. I know a lot of people really didn't like her, but again, I think some of the like valid reasons to not like her is because she is quite similar to some of the other Frankie designs that we've had. Number one recently, and number two in collector dolls, but as not having any of the previous Frankie, like I don't have any of the, like I don't have the black and white one, or like any of the times when she was voltageous or anything like that. So for me, this is a very unique Frankie into my collection. So personally, I think she's a really good doll, and I really am happy to have her, but I can also understand some of the criticisms that have been faced at this doll. So but yeah, I think that's enough rambling for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed recording it, and we will see you also very, very soon. Bye!